Supercars aren't scary anymore. This is mostly a good thing. The current all-star automotive lineup consists of exotic machinery boasting power figures that have the average rocket scientist doing a double take. If these cars also possessed the insane tree and guardrail hunting characteristics of bygone supercars, we'd have streets littered with carbon fiber bits and billionaire blood. Instead, today's supercars are tremendously easy to drive, and drive quickly. Computer systems control each wheel so that there's no slip, just all grip. The cars are quite fun, sure, but they're also a safe space. And I don't need to spend time in safe spaces. I want something a bit more old school in its supercar approach.
You know what's better than an all-wheel drive Lamborghini? A rear-wheel drive one. She's an angry beast, this one right here. That's because the front wheels aren't doing any of the work except for turning, and that's a great, great thing. This is the Lamborghini Huracan rear-wheel drive Spyder, and I hope that you can hear me over the wind noise. I hope. Because it's either the wind noise or the engine noise. Maybe we'll back it down a bit. So, it's no longer called the LP580 numbers, letters, blah, blah, blah. This is just the Huracan rear-wheel drive Spyder. If it's all-wheel drive, it's just called the Huracan. Very simple. I actually applaud Lamborghini for making this easier. The LP designations made sense, but it also makes sense to call one what it is, and then a rear-wheel drive one. That's fine. Spyder means I can take the roof down. This roof can go up and down in 17 seconds, and at speeds up to 31 miles per hour. Now, I'm not a convertible guy. That said, this is wonderful. Hear that 5.2 liter V10 screaming right behind your head? Now, if you had the top up, there's a little window. Window down, window up. Now, if you have the top up, you can play engine noise games, or you can just let it sing to the world like it is right now. Grab it. Gear scream. She's a good sounding car, yeah. This one's not on sale yet. They just showed this ahead of the LA Auto Show, and it goes on sale sometime in January. With the top down, I fit. With the top up, it's a different story. It is very tight in there. If I'm wearing a hat, the hat touches the roof. That's not great. It doesn't feel like there's as much room as there is in the coupe. You're definitely losing some legroom and headroom for some reason. I think it's because of the way they stow the top and whatever. Just put the top down, stop bitching and drive the car. That's gonna be some of the comments. Stop bitching and drive the car. Now, I mentioned that 5.2 liter V10 engine. Of course, you know it's shared with the Audi R8. Here it is making nearly 580 horsepower and nearly 400 pound-feet of torque. And I'm controlling the action through a 7-speed dual-clutch gearbox that's otherwise known as the doppio frizione, something like that. I definitely said that wrong. I definitely said that wrong. There are different driving modes because this is a Lamborghini. You have Strada, which is boring, Sport, which is the one you're going to want to use most often because it gets louder, the shifts are crisp. It's a good mode to be in. You can put it in Corsa, but it has the roughest shifts. It's already that loud in Sport. Top speed of the Huracan rear-wheel drive Spyder is about 198 miles an hour, which I guess is fast enough for a convertible. I'm not going to test it today because I'm on the Hooniverse Highway hooning grounds and not an airstrip. I don't think I'd have enough room here, but I do have curves. That allows me to experience the steering. Now, this feels lighter on the nose than other Huracans I've driven. It's because there's less weight up there, I'm imagining, because you have some components removed. Still feels great. The steering is nice and crisp. It's related to the R8. You can get this with a dynamic steering system similar to the R8, and it has electronic power steering. There's some deadness there, but they managed to let a decent amount of road filter in. I would like a little bit more in a car like this, especially with less weight on the nose, but you can still have plenty of fun. I never feel out of sorts in this car. If you pack it into some corners, it might get a little squirrely under braking, but not enough to really get you out of sorts. Out back, you have massive Pirelli 305 series tires holding it down. You've got giant brakes at all four corners. I think this has 20-inch wheels. I have to double check that, but they look big. The wheels themselves look pretty bitchin' because they seem like a modern take on the old phone dial wheels that you saw in the Countach, but like in a modern sense. It's pretty cool. I mean, one of the best parts about this car though, since it is now a convertible, is the noise. The noise is glorious. I'm gonna grab a gear. Second, third, cost about 200,000 base price. You'll never find one for that. Low twos is what you're gonna pay. That lines up just on the high side of the competition. Things like the McLaren 570. You can throw the 650 Spyder. You've got the Porsche 911 Turbo S. You've got the R8, the Audi kissing cousin. You've got the Ferrari California T. The great thing is that if you can shop in this segment, one, you're rich, so that's nice. But two, you can't go wrong. Get the Aston Martin V12 Vantage S, you've made a great choice. Get the Lamborghini Huracan rear-wheel drive Spyder, you've made a wonderful choice. Porsche 911 Turbo S, you have one of the fastest cars on the planet. McLaren, you have a McLaren. Audi, the Audi is wonderful as well. You can't lose in this segment. Now this specific car feels very much like a Miami car. You want to see and be seen in this thing. You can do that in Southern California, but cruising down A1A in Miami, that's where this car really shines. Thankfully, it also does rather well out here. It grips and grips and grips. Traction control keeps things in line, but one press of ESC and this thing will spin on you quicker than a Viper. So you gotta be careful, it's because it's light and it just wants to go. The chassis is a hybrid of aluminum and carbon fiber, so it's stiff and light. One thing, you can't see shit out the back, even with the top down. Because of how high this is, can't see anything. Side view mirrors are good, rear view, forget about it. Just look at yourself, angle it so you can see your passenger if you want to perv. Otherwise, you're not seeing anything to the rear. Who cares though? Just go faster, don't worry about what's behind you, unless it's the cops. Then you're gonna want to slow down. Or not, you might be a psycho. The word supercar doesn't hold the weight it used to have. When you heard the word supercar, it was a car that was supposed to make you piss your pants out of fear while putting a big smile across your face at the same time. These days, supercars have all-wheel drive, complex traction control systems. They're designed to make you a better and safer driver, and that's great. But it would be nice to have a supercar that harkens back to the era of supercars. I think this is it. This Lamborghini Huracan rear-wheel drive Spyder offers up the noise and the potential for disaster, but you can avert it because it still has the traction control system. It has the different driving modes. One button turns that off and brings you back to the glorious era of true, insane supercars. Sure, you can spend your money on the Porsche and be safe. You can spend your money on the McLaren and have that rare British exotic that no one knows what it is and they think it's a Lamborghini. Or you can be strong like bull and get the Lamborghini Huracan rear-wheel drive Spyder. This is the one that puts Italian hair on your chest. This is the one that could make you piss your pants a little bit in the best way possible and match the color of the car. This is the one for those who like driving and still like to be scared a little bit behind the wheel of the car. Autonomous. No. Where's the switch for the window? Where's that dumb window switch? Oh, right here. Hopefully I edit this before January, but I occasionally slack. Now, with the top up, I fit. With the top down, that's actually backwards. That makes this awesome. Oh, that's stupid.